Hello and welcome to the Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer, and I'm here to build a model kit to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, and the Tier 2 Blue emote. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can just say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you wanted to be a lurker, you could be a lurker, and that would be okay. Lurking is totally cool. I feel washed out. Move that there. That's good. My overhead light was a little too close to my face and was kind of washing me out a little bit there. So I have adjusted it, and that feels better. It's still lighting the table, which it needs to do. Hey, so I want to say hi to Harold, who said hi even before the stream started, which is lovely. Lashbrook, Ghost Foul, Lord Crashington, who says hey, and Mr. Bob. We got a great crew of regulars here already. You may notice we do not have the indication that we need a goal for subs, which means that I'm currently at 40 subscribers. Hello, Aristophan, and that's thanks to Bobby Dice Roller and Aristophan for gifting subs to the community. It's very kind of you. My goal for 2023 is to not need that. I don't think I'm going to move the goalpost because you may remember that maybe even like a year ago, year and a half, maybe even fucking 2 years ago, we used to say 50 was our goal. 50 used to be the goal there, which was more than enough that I needed, but it was nice to be at about 50 subscribers. Felt like, oh, that's I'm a consistent small time, not upper small time streamer, right? Affiliate streamer. Because there are many people that stream for very few people. And there are many affiliates with way less subscribers than 50. But 50 used to be kind of where I wanted to be. Lord Crashing says, make 69 the goal. Nice. Lysander says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. So, yeah, so the goal used to be 50. And then I went to if I hit 40, then I get the payout every month. And that's good. Now the payout's in half. So technically, I can get $50 payout for 20 subscribers plus, but probably like 21 after some things, depending on if you're using Prime or whatever, and a couple pennies from ads. But here's the thing. $50 a month only buys me so many model kits. $100 a month buys me more model kits. Better, cool, maybe not better, cooler, weirder model kits. Pre-ordered kits like the Red Rider, which I'll be building soon at some point, which was a pre-order from Premium Bandai. Red Rider is not a thing I'm going to find at a hobby shop. Not that I have any hobby shops near me, but I'm probably not going to find it on Amazon for like less than like double the price that it was on there. So the fact that I have some coffers to buy model kits, that's the reason why I push the numbers. We like it when the numbers go up. But the hope is next year we just start hitting 40 without me doing much work, right? Without much me putting pressure on people, without me asking constantly for it. It would be nice if it was just like 40 was just the number that we always hit. So that means do the math, with conservative people who are a one-time donation but not consistent, I need like 11, 12 more people to consistently want to subscribe on a monthly basis. We'll give it a little buffer there, right? Really, I need 9 people. If I look at how many gift subs we had this month, I need 9 people. But let's say reasonably 10 to 12 more people subscribing on a monthly basis. Doable, workable, possible, probable? I don't know. But it is important to have goals and to have goals, just flat out. Plans and goals are important. And so tonight we're going to talk about some plans for the Build with Baer Workshop going into 2023. Plans that you might have as well. We can always open it up to things you're looking forward to, things that you're thinking about wanting to do, goals you have in mind. Dare I say, New Year's resolutions, perhaps. There's some light news that happened this week. It's so light that like one of my news stories is like about a YouTube video that was like digging into a obvious scam that Logan Paul benefited from, like an NFT scam. Like that's one of the things I talk about. And then like a resolution in a state I don't currently live in that might help with right to repair. Like that could be copied by other states. Like it's a little slim pickings. There's a Microsoft is being sued to block the merger by a collective of gamers that think that it's anti-competitive. It's like slim pickings on news, so I figured maybe we could chat about stuff that's going on with us and like looking forward to things in the new year. I'm going to retweet my tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to join us as we work on the Juaggu. Gotta work on this Juaggu. And let's go to the overhead here. As you can see, we have already, on our previous stream on Monday, we've completed the head here, which includes the snout, which has some bendability due to some wires in there. And we got the chest and the neck, all with question marks. We're going to work on the backpack, which will go back here. So we'll build a backpack. Then we'll start working on, for whatever reason, we don't do the waist next, which I think maybe you think we would do the waist. No, we're going to do the weird hand and arms. We're going to do the big hands, the big gun, weird finger hands, guns. This kit is a mess in the most positive way possible. It is a lovely mess. So we will continue to work on this by getting together our backpack components, which are E8 and E10. So we'll get E8 and E10 together. The nice thing about these dark pieces here, I'm not really going to be using marker on it because it doesn't really do much to have that. But the gray certainly benefits from some marker, or the grayish white. So that there are some elements to this kit that really do want a little bit of a Gundam marker on them, but not a lot of them. Okay, so we can get into news stories later. Oh, also in the second hour, it is just manga talk. I am at the point now where I have one more episode of Witcher Mercury that will come out on Sunday, so we'll talk about that on Monday. And then on Thursday, there will be at least one new show for me to talk about. I think I'll be up to like 3 shows maybe on Thursday to talk about. I know one comes out on Tuesday. What is the name of the one? I'll be talking about the first episode of Ningen Fusen, Adventurers Who Don't Believe in Humanity Will Save the World. I don't know if I'm going to keep watching that, but it's the first anime episode of the new season that comes out on Tuesday, so I will at least watch that. But for today and Saturday, no more anime talk. Maybe light anime talk, but manga talk in the second hour. So we will get that. Let's see. This model looks kind of weird, a little funky and sort of rad. Yeah, Lysander's, there's something about especially the aquatic, the underwater mobile suits from this. This is the unicorn version of the original. But, Lasbrook, is it not? You're right, it's not. Damn it. John says we caught up on Witch from Mercury last night, ready for Sunday, and the last word counters with I'm pretty sure it's next Sunday for G-Witch, not on New Year's. You're right. It's not New Year's Day. So that means manga talk on Manga Monday as tradition. Also on today and Saturday, manga and manhwa, some Korean comics as well. All right, I guess I might try to watch something I didn't watch so that I can talk about it either on Saturday or Monday. I'm probably going to need to talk about something on Monday. Dang, I really did think that G-Witch was this Sunday. That's right, it's the following Sunday due to holiday obligations. All right, we got the backpack on. There's components of the backpack that I didn't put on yet because I was distracted by the reality of that. So, yeah, okay. So, usually, anime, like, especially because of, like, things like delays and just general scheduling and, like, not every show starts the same day of the week, or the weeks into the seasons, there's usually not this big of a gap. This kind of gap happens only really in the end of the fall season before the winter season begins, due to Christmas and New Year's and various other obligations that Japanese television has. because first and foremost, the anime that we are consuming is for a Japanese television audience. And then there are some things that are like streamed a week early on some stream. There are some Japanese streaming services that have stuff like that. There is some stuff that comes out all at once, certainly. But yeah, Annie Chart was listing like anime music videos that were coming out as just like content. So yeah, I guess Saturday or Monday, I'll say this, Saturday or Monday, I will endeavor to talk about Chainsaw Man and My Hero Academia, the only shows I haven't really dived deep in on a stream. I talked about them on Tuesday. Should mention Tuesday's stream. Thank you for everyone that came and hung out on Tuesday. If you missed Tuesday's stream, the archive will go up as the next Pat Bear's Anime Club video on Monday. I talked for many, many hours about the fall season, which is just wrapping up, and the winter season, which is beginning on Tuesday. So I talked about that. Let's see. So we need... we're going to do 2 of these. So we need 2 2s and 2 9s. So I talked about a lot of anime from the previous season, next season, and the many, many, many isekai, and also... Oh, these are 9s. Putting 9s there. Putting 2s here. 2 and 9 look very similar. So I am separating them. 2 goes up here, top, 9 goes on the bottom. 2 goes on the top, 9 goes on the bottom. That should be good. They're similar, but they are slightly different. 2 is bigger than 9 on these polycaps. John says, My Hero Academia is all over Fortnite, so I'm going to have to peek at it at some point. Yeah. I mean, it's it's a 2-core this season, and I believe back-to-back 2-core and not a break. And it's whooping ass. It's been a really solid season of My Hero Academia. And it's just a good-ass show. It's just a really good program. So I am pleased that people are psyched about it and that it's doing well. All right, so yeah, I'll have to do some anime talk. But yeah, Pat Bear's Anime Club. New episode comes out on Monday. This was the live episode from Tuesday. I love being able to do that, having the opportunity to just talk about stuff and preview things and find out about new shows. Beaufree coming out next, I believe on the 11th, Beaufree debuts. An excellent season 2, I should say, of Beaufree. I'm not usually big on the VR MMORPG anime or manga or anything like that. I'm generally not interested in those kind of things because, like, I don't know, it's not a genre. Even it's a fantasy genre, there's a thing about like it being like whatever. Sometimes if they're death games or if they're isekais or something like that, I'm a little more interested. Beaufree is it is both a slice of life and like a beautiful like friendship, like just goofy times, like good friends being silly and fun with each other. Overpowered main character, but it celebrates like doing your own thing, going your own way, making your own build, and it is just like, I don't know, it's a lovely little series. So it is fun to be able to champion isn't the right word, but like have fun talking about a show like that. It is nice. Maple is a great character. Also, flying turtle companion named Tama. Like, can't really go wrong. Flying turtle companion. It's like pretty great. Everybody's great. The girls that put all their points into hammers, and they're just fun young ladies who sisters who use dual hammers and just don't have any defense, is just like, yeah, just fun nonsense. Just like a bunch of fun characters having a great time. It's a good show. So I'm excited about more of that. And there's a whole mess of goddamn isekai. There's a ton of isekai that are like slice of life isekai. There's one that's super horny that I'm like, well, it's interesting that one got picked up. But there's like a few that are like, yeah, these are good. They're fun. They're like fine, you know. And there's some laid back slice of life isekai that are great. That should be real good. We got an upcoming Best Slime. We got Sue the slime, coming in the anime about the middle-aged guy who gets isekai'd, and he just cooks for a mythical creature and a slime, and then later a dragon. It's just like real chill. It's like just real fucking chill. All right, so we need more polycaps and more pieces here. Get all these together here. Gonna need 4 of these because we gotta put gun barrels on these things. They're not gun barrels. That comes later. That's on the fingers. These are, I don't know, air pressure, water tanks. I don't know what's going on with this thing. We're building the hands. The hands are just weird and mechanical in a fun way, and silly in a way that I appreciate. All of these elements are very silly, and I can get behind that. All right, we'll ease into some discussion here because we gotta talk about 2023. Let's start by dunking on some stuff from 2022. Microsoft sued by Call of Duty gamers opposing Activision merger. That's right. The lawsuit claims that loyal gamers are extremely vulnerable to potential Microsoft monopoly. Won't someone think of the loyal gamers? Let's see. This is 10 game. I do want to point out that this is 10 gamers from California, New Jersey, and New Mexico have filed a lawsuit against Microsoft. Swallowing the biggest competitor in the gaming industry. Plaintiffs describe Activision Blizzard as a crucial rival that drives industry-wide innovation. So their tact is not, this will hurt Sony. It's, hey, this is you. Their idea is Activision is a competitor to Microsoft. And by buying your competitor, you are stifling competitiveness, which is a different tack that, as I said, that Sony's doing, which is still weird. Because, like, Activision is not a competitor to Microsoft. Activision wants their games to be on Microsoft or the Windows Store. It feels weird to say that. I'm torn between the chance of Microsoft to clean up upper management at ABK and the fact that Microsoft owning them is a lot of eggs in one basket. Yeah, I mean, look. I'm just saying the merits of this feel odd to me. Not that it shouldn't be looked at and even perhaps not fucking happen because, you know, bigger companies buying big companies is not good for anyone. So, you know, I'm often, certainly opposed to it. But this particular lawsuit, I'm like, So this is under the Clayton Antitrust Act. Consumers have similar rights as industry competitors to oppose acquisitions like this one. Allowing courts to weigh anti-competitive harms raised by consumers. Microsoft will essentially wield more market power than it already has, suddenly granting the ability to foreclose rivals, limit outputs, reduce consumer choice, raise prices, and further inhibit competition. So this is taking the tack that actually Activision is your competitor. You're trying to buy your competitor. Looking at Microsoft as a game studio, not Microsoft as a console manufacturer. I don't know if that's the right tact. I don't know what anyone wants to be on Microsoft Store. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Microsoft Store also includes Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like that, Microsoft still wants games to come out to be on their platforms, which includes Windows Store, but also I meant like PC Game Pass, that kind of thing. let's see. And then, of course, a spokesperson told Ars Technica, who I am reading this report from, uh, basically they're just like, nah, no, what? This deal will expand competition and create more opportunities for gamers and game developers as we seek to bring more games to more people. What? Um, Mr. Bob says, I am not a fan of the idea of a merger, but I'm also not joining a class action lawsuit. Yes. I mean, first of all, far be it for I cannot in good conscience be described by Ars Technica as a gamer. I will not stand for it. I am a person that plays video games, thank you, but I am not a gamer by any stretch of the imagination. And I do not need to be included as a gamer in one of these websites. So certainly, also, I'm not a Call of Duty fan. I don't, so that's also I would not be in this company here. But yeah, I mean, look, I don't want big mergers. Certainly, I do want a change in management at Activision Blizzard King. I think we can all agree on that. I would like that. I don't necessarily need Microsoft to own big studios like this. It's bad enough that so many are both Microsoft and Sony are buying up developers, and we don't love that either. But I don't know. But yeah, I certainly would not want to be described as a gamer suing. This deal will not allow for more competition, but I understand why Microsoft needs to keep saying that. So, yeah, I mean, they're going too far in to say where you could say yes, 360 no scope. You could say Microsoft could be like, hey, Activision games are still going to show up places. Like, I don't know what to tell you. We're still going to show up places. We're not going to be killing competition. We're just their stance should be, hey, when you look at the acquisitions that other people have made, we're just trying to get ahead. We're trying to look out for ourselves and trying to continue to exist in the game space because we need to compete on a global scale. And so we're looking to make acquisitions. If you're just literally just be like, we could buy 100 developers, or we could buy one big studio that also already acquired other developers. It's like they could pull in. They could certainly embrace some companies. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna make more. Let's see. Oh God, yeah. Loyal gamers fear potential monopoly is just like a thing on this page, and it just gave me the shivers to think about. Like, oh boy, loyal gamers. Won't someone think about these loyal gamers? All they want is to continue to play Call of Duty and other Activision titles on any platform that they wish. And they're so afraid that they won't be able to in the future if Microsoft gets their way. Boo. Yes, Mr. Bob, we do need to bring... But yes, Microsoft would go a long way if they promised that once acquiring Activision, they would put out a new blast chamber. Yeah, get weird with it. Make Activision make weird games. That's your big directive. Deal could place Microsoft in a position to extract best game developers per. So this part of it actually literally does not hold water, in my opinion. Not literally, but you know what I mean. The part of their lawsuit is the deal could place Microsoft in a position to attract all of the best game developers, potentially starving independent game studios from accessing top talent. In this scenario, the complaint alleges that the industry could suffer from reduced wages, limited mobility, and worse working conditions, with Microsoft in a power position to set industry standards. Now, the second half of that, sure, but also a healthy independent game scene or game development does not make working conditions better for other like that. No, the thing is that when these acquisitions happen, people at the top of those companies take the sweetheart deal, leave, and start independent studios. So acquisitions increase new indie studios with talented developers, not the other way around. Now, big companies being the only place to work does fuel small people from doing independent instead of going to those big companies. But the cycle is you get acquired and then half of your company leaves to go follow a quote-unquote visionary and starts a new indie studio. That's what happens. Acquisition of Activision will lead to independent studios starting up. Well, it won't be Kotick, John. Kotick is going to get a sweetheart deal and go to another big studio. You'll see Kotick at EA if he gets kicked out of Activision, which I don't imagine, actually legitimately don't think he will. I think he will become a Microsoft executive in charge of Activision. They're going to keep him around because they don't see him as a problem. Even if they at one point have tried to make a claim that they do see it as a problem, they don't see it as a problem. All right, so these have to look like this to then stick B11 and B10 and B12 up in there. All right, and then we got to put some stickers on. So let's get some going there. He may not even stay in games if he's Activision. Yes, he seems to really like to run a game studio. So who knows? But yeah, he'll just end up somewhere else. He'll end up at Ubisoft or EA or something. So people will bend over backwards to give him a job, despite all evidence to suggest that is a terrible idea. So that part doesn't hold water for me. That it's this acquisition is somehow going to make it so that people can't. All right, so how does this go in? Okay, it goes in like that. This kind of supposedly gives me an idea of how this is supposed to look, but I don't quite understand it. I think this goes in like this, or just go like that. No, it doesn't go in like maybe it goes in like that. Yeah. All right, I'm blowing up this photo so I can look at the hands. All right, because that sticker goes like that. So if this goes like this, we're going to make this like 2. So it goes like that. Yeah, all right. The outside has to have... Yeah, so this is going to go like... That should go like this then. Okay, yes, all right. So the outside of the hand... Oh, you can't see me because I made this too big. I got to push this back down now. Got to go back where you belong. Make you small. Make you bigger. Great. This, the outside part has the little bend here because it's on the outside of the arm. All right, I've got that now. So that's 12. I've now figured it out here. You will do that favorite major corporate maneuver of taking over a small studio that eventually is bought out by Activision. Yes, sure. That is also a possibility. So yeah, I don't. Gamers suing have asked a U.S. federal court to declare that Microsoft Activision Blizzard violates antitrust laws. But yeah, and they're looking to get the merger permanently blocked. Good luck to these 10 gamers and their lawyers. And again, part of their lawsuit contends that Activision Blizzard is a rival of Microsoft, which, again, as a game studio, you can argue, but as a makers of, but as a publisher, kind of, but Microsoft also makes the consoles, so Activision isn't a competitor. Because if Activision sells video games for the Xbox, that's good for Microsoft. So I don't know. I think that that their argument there, I don't think holds water. If you want to argue that it will hurt Sony, and I guess if you want to argue that it would hurt like Nintendo, then maybe that's something you could argue, but I don't really think you can argue that this hurts in any way, shape, or form, that this would hurt sorry, I'm blank. That this would hurt like Microsoft to like that Activision hurts Microsoft's bottom line as a competitor. Just doesn't seem to make any sense to me. This is a quick one here. We'll just get into this real quick. New York governor signs modified right to repair bill at the last minute. Over the summer, the New York State passed this right to repair bill. And finally, the mayor, the governor of New York signed it. Waited till obviously the last minute. This is a bipartisan bill. It is a thing that people from across the aisle agree on. We've talked about this on the stream a long time ago, but the John Deere consumer, the farmer using tractors, a major support of right to repair has come from that group, which would be obviously predominantly Republican, conservative Republicans. But yeah, right to repair is an issue that hits a lot of people. A good cross section of constituents are in favor of that. This is the Digital Fair Repair Act, and it is the first one to go through. Because some have been through executive order, but this is through the state legislature that is making these moves. And then let's see. And of course, the tech industry is attempting to weaken said thing, and they've been working hard to get that going. So let's see. One of their big things, like, hey, people are going to get hurt if it's illegal for them to repair things, which is just like, yeah, sure. Because it's not like they weren't going to repair them anyway. But yeah, risk of injury is so high. Yeah, sure it is. So here is the thing that sucks about this. The major concession that is put in place that makes it so that this will not necessarily be easily copied and adopted in other states across the United States is this part. Only devices manufactured and sold in New York on or after July 1st, 2023 will be required to meet the law's requirements, excluding any current exact products. The ones that people already own that they might want to, So it's business to business and business to government equipment that isn't sold to consumers are also excluded. So business to business. So it's basically just like it's something, but it's weak as shit. With just like so many goddamn concessions, that it is fairly neutered. It is big, but it's not big enough. So people were like, yeah. Like the iFixit CEO is like, okay, we're gonna go, like this isn't perfect, but we're gonna work with it. And then an activist who has been working on it basically just says, I love this. This is in Ars Technica again. The right to repair bill that I spent 7 years of my life trying to get passed in my home state got fucked, says Louis Rossman. And it's funny, it got fucked in the exact manner I thought it would, because it getting passed without being tainted or screwed with would actually be good for society, and that's not something the New York State government is going to allow to happen. So it's not that it got rejected and you start from scratch. It's like, oh, a bill went through, it's just neutered and not going to be beneficial to any, really that beneficial, which is a fucking shame. It's a bummer. Um, Also, manufacturers can opt to provide assemblies of parts instead of parts by themselves when the risk of improper installation heightens the risk of injury. If you want to replace your phone's display or battery, for example, a company could provide you a display or battery with a bunch of extra cables or other parts connected to it, whether you needed those parts or not, which would cost. So instead of like, hey, here's a battery, here is the battery unit, and you have to buy the whole battery assembly, not just the battery, if you want to replace the battery in your phone, which will drive up repair costs, right? Because instead of buying the part you need, you are buying a bunch of parts that could include the part you needed. Also, the original bill already had a bunch of exclusions: medical devices, motor vehicles. So it doesn't include motor vehicles, off-road equipment, and home appliances. And what is classified as a home appliance? Well, I bet a bunch of stuff they don't want to allow you to repair will suddenly be classified as home appliances. And also, yes, now there is a reason to not manufacture things in New York State. It will drive some small electronics groups outside of New York, particularly small projects that are not business to business sales. Yes, it will. It will indeed just, instead of helping consumers, it will just force small businesses to decide that they don't actually work in New York State. They actually work in New Jersey. Yeah. Yeah, totally, Mr. Bob. Yeah. It's not great. Uh, yeah, it's just it's a good headline, but then when you dig into it, it's not great, which is a shame. Um, Speaking of a shame, shame on anyone who would give a project endorsed by Logan Paul, a project called Crypto Zoo. Shame on anyone. Look, a bunch of people definitely don't have the money they thought they would have on this project that has pretty much gone silent. But also, I don't give a shit about those people. I mostly just argue because it's a bit of Schadenfreude on this particular project, so we can kind of just be like, ha ha ha. So basically, CoffeeZilla did a three-part. He's a YouTuber that describes himself as uncovers scams, fraudsters, and fake gurus. Looked into Crypto Zoo and was like, "Hey, what's up with fucking Crypto Zoo? Let's do a little investigative reporting on that." Uh, Sorry, these require me to put on stickers in a way, but I'm not sure how they're supposed to fold on. Is it like that? Yeah, okay. I got to put a bunch of stickers on when we talk about Crypto Zoo. Um, so, this is how Logan Paul described Crypto Zoo. It's a really fun game that earns you money. And it's currently undergoing upgrades to its core infrastructure and ecosystem, according to them. It's an autonomous ecosystem that allows zookeepers to buy, sell, and trade exotic animals and hybrids. It's an NFT game. It's an NFT game. You purchase zoo coins, um, and you get eggs that are NFTs that hatch to become animals, and you can breed those animals together, and then you make rare hybrids, and then you get zoo coins for those hybrids, and then you make money. It's like yeah. So basically, they were also like a big selling point of Paul, who I can't, looking at the article, I can't tell you for sure if Logan Paul invested in this company or if they just paid him to talk about it on his podcast as a way to drum up interest or what. Yes, no fucking thanks. Indeed, Harold, no fucking thanks on NFTs. Anyway, handmade art. He wanted to stress it's handmade art. Basically, at the time, they were like, now tech bros are like, AI is the future. But at the time of this game, trying to get money out of suckers, they were like, it's all hand drawn. Don't worry about it. You can't play the game, and a bunch of people spent a bunch of money there. Since its introduction in 2021, Paul Stans, not my words, have spent $2.5 million on eggs. But you don't get those eggs yet. Nobody has those eggs. And then people were like, basically, they're just like, the basic idea was, well, if from some people that have been interviewed, well, Logan Paul is giving people a safe place to invest, like a safe way to invest in cryptocurrency. Like, this is our opportunity. Not that, Logan Paul is leveraging his audience to scam them and make a fucking bunch of money in a clearly like fucking scheme. Because for some reason, people inherently decided to trust Logan Paul. And obviously that's on them. And again, like, ha ha ha. I feel bad for anyone who tried to get into crypto over the last 2 or 3 years. Most of that money is gone. Yes, you had to do it in the beginning. You had to do it years and years ago. But yeah, those people just don't, invest the money. Let's see. There's no way to claim your yield. There's no way to get... So the passive income part, right? The big selling point. That's not in the contracts. That's not actually a mechanic in the thing. That is just a way to get people to come in. Also, one of the people who invested said he couldn't actually hatch the eggs. It didn't work. So he just has eggs and can't hatch them to then maybe make a profit. So it's just like, no, I just got there. Yeah, because the game just doesn't work. I have not watched all of this YouTube video because it was in some points infuriating. But it is still interesting to see just like this very obvious scam. Apparently, so this is according to Logan Paul. So I don't know if any of this stuff is true or not. But Logan Paul says that one of the problems with the game is that a developer fled to Switzerland with the source code and held it hostage for $1 million. So possibly, according to Logan Paul anyway, one of the problems with this scam is that the scammers got scammed by a scammer. Who ransomed the source code. Because apparently only one... To believe that would believe that the source code was like in like a suitcase and then this one developer stole the suitcase. Like there are no backups. There's nobody else knows it. It's unrecoverable. They fled to Switzerland and want $1 million from you. Yeah. Sure. In the crypto world, unheard of, indeed. Let's see. But this developer claims he hasn't been paid at all. So this developer who fled to Switzerland counterclaims, hey, they've never paid me for all the stuff I did on there. They spent a lot of money on people, but no one paid me. So that's why it isn't working. And other people who have worked on it said, like, yeah, a lot of us haven't been paid. That's why it isn't going forward. Yeah. Let's see. Logan Paul's basically like, no, it's not true. Uh, so this is fun. This is the thing that a lot of people say when they don't believe they can, when they can't say anything to prove that, but need you to believe that they are not the bad guy in the situation. When appropriate, all bad actors will be exposed, explained, and held fully accountable. So apparently he's going to get into more detail on January the 3rd. Generally, when people say that, it means, hey, I need to figure out someone to blame for this, and I don't know who to blame for it right now. There is nothing that would exonerate me from this scam. It's a delay tactic. It's just a delay tactic. And then, of course, Paul wants... Paul was like, hey, come on my show, to the guy who made the video. And he's just like, no, I'm not going to do that. You can come on my show. Yeah. Also, props to Kotaku for beginning this article with an explanation of who Logan Paul is, and to stress that this is the new and improved. Hey, I'm on WWE stuff. Hey, I've got this great podcast. This is the revamped, better than ever Logan Paul. This NFT scammer is that version, because obviously the previous version is the 2017 Logan Paul, and I'm not even fucking get into the 2017 Logan Paul and how he fucking sucks shit. I don't even need to get into that. We don't have to dwell on that here. But obviously, Logan Paul sucks and has sucked for a long time. And this version of Logan Paul is not better. Yes, most likely, Mr. Bob, if a developer was withholding code, it was not to steal it and to ransom it. It was to ask for payment of their work, for their work. Most likely, yes. That is probably what actually happened. And instead, that is being said that, oh, no, you stole this. It's like, well, maybe they're just withholding until you pay them money that you owe them. It's a whole fucking thing. But yeah, obviously Logan Paul sucks. So, fun. And that's like the news. That's stuff from the news that I wanted to talk about tonight. Yeah, so, well, here's the thing, Mr. Bob, right? The thing with pyramid schemes, with Ponzi schemes, with any of these things, right, is you got to be way high up to actually make money. Because there's a lot of people, to be successful in these endeavors, you've got to have a lot of people who buy into a thing that is nonsense. People who buy in a little bit, but not like a lot, but buy in enough, but like also are like, I'm smart enough to understand what's going on here. It's good, but it's not like exactly what they're saying, but it's still real good. And then also you have the people that are actually making money on the thing. Now, within all of that, there's also people who actually understand that this is a scam and are in there to make a quick buck to get in, get out. It's like, well, I want to take advantage of these rubes, and I'll do that. Now, taking advantage could be in many forms. It could be doing your own thing with no payoff and just going on that. It can be stealing from the people that have a bunch of money invested in this nonsense. It could be from stealing from the grifters. Grifting a grifter is a time-honored tradition. So I am sure there are people pocketing money all along the way that are not Logan Paul, that are like, well, this is all going to fall apart, and I can slip away before it falls apart. Now, they may be successful. They may not be not successful in that endeavor. But the belief that so many people in this scenario, in these scenarios, believe they are smart when they are, in fact, not smart. There are people who are like, this is my get-rich-quick scheme. This is my future. There are people who are, I'm doing this because this is like, I really respect the person or people involved in this, at the top, and this is so cool, and I can't believe I get to be part of this. There are people who are like, this is this is a job, and who cares? Whatever, as long as it works out for a little while, that's fine. There are people who are like, I know this is a scam, but I'm in deep now, and so I'm going with it. And then there are people who are like, well, Logan Paul will take the heat for this, not me, the person who was doing a lot of this work. I won't take the heat for this. And then also, there's Logan Paul, who is not bulletproof, but certainly more bulletproof than other people. And also, like, does not fucking give a shit. Like, does not give a shit if it all blows up in people's faces. Because he can just blame it on other people, and it's fine. Yeah, I thought this would be cool. We wanted to make it super cool, but, these folks didn't want that, and they made it harder for us to do it. And, actually, CoffeeZilla, by bringing this up, is going to make it even harder for us to make the game, which they never were going to fully make the game. Actually, he's the real problem in all of this, because he's by shining a light on it, he's going to make it tougher. It's all bullshit and nonsense. We're going to take a pause for the calls in a little bit, talk about ways you can support the channel, do all of that. We're working on our fingies here, our weapons. These fingers are going to shoot stuff, so we gotta get these all nice and cleaned up, and then we can panel line it, make it look all sweet and cool, and get our hands put together here. That'll be good. And the second hour, we will talk about some manga. We might talk about some stuff that you're watching or playing or anything like that. I should mention that next Tuesday's stream, which will be the first bonus stream of the month, will be, because the second is the first stream of the month. The first bonus stream of the month on Tuesday, I will be building in Last Call BBS the one mobile suit that we haven't built yet, because they had at some point released another one that we didn't build on stream. So we will be building that. And then we're going to jump over to Lego Builder's Journey, because that is it's like a diorama. It's a diorama. It's a little like Cloud Gardens, which we played on stream a long time ago. Little dioramas, solving by putting Lego in the right place, and then helping a lot of it is helping a character get from point A to point B. We will restart and start at the beginning, because I figured out how to do that and I'll start a new game. Not super intuitive. And then also there's a creative mode, which I haven't really played around with, but we'll check out the creative mode as well. So that's going to be this coming Tuesday. That'll be the first bonus stream of the year, 2023. So that'll be fun. And a reminder about the next stream, Saturday stream. Please come and hang out with me. The first 2 hours will be, I assume, finishing this kit or getting close to finishing this kit. But Saturday stream, 2 hours of model kit building, and then 1 hour of Jackbox Party Pack 9 as we ring in the new year. So it'll be a 3-hour stream. The first 2 hours will be model kit building, and the third hour will be Jackbox and hanging out. So come to that. Ring in the East Coast New Year with me, your friend Pat. I think it'll be a fun time. Y'all are invited. And I hope you will come out for that, because I think you'll have fun with it. If you can only come for part of the model kit building, no problem. If you only want to come for the Jackbox, cool. If you have to dip before midnight, I understand. And then we will most likely find like a West Coast streamer or somebody in the middle of the country, either or, to go and raid. But we'll find somebody who who has not yet experienced 2023, and we'll go tell them what it's like in the future or whatever. We've done that before in the past. I enjoy it. I enjoy I enjoy doing the New Year's Eve streams. So we'll do that. Just panel lining our fingies here, making it look all nice. A little bit of gray on our gray, and then we'll put black on the, oh no, we're using black. That's right. Just use black on everything. I think that's okay. Just using the black marker on all this. Originally, I was thinking of maybe using gray on this because it is the lightest color, but I think it looks fine with a black marker. But yeah, so that's that. And then Monday, just more of this. I will have a poll up tomorrow for my $10 patrons about what I should build after this kit is done, the Juaggu. I don't know what it's going to be, my next build, but it'll be, I'll probably just put up like all the stuff that came in from purchases I made, with the exception of the Eagle unit, the Heavy Arms Eagle unit. I do not have that yet. That has not even been shipped yet because of the shipping company being closed in Japan right now. So that kit has not been sold, or has been bought. It has not been shipped, which is fine. So don't expect that until the middle of January at the earliest, because it is being shipped from Japan, because that kit is there were no U.S. sellers for that particular kit, so I went with a Japanese seller and then paid for expediting shipping, knowing that it wouldn't ship out. So instead of it arriving in February, it should theoretically arrive in the middle of January. It was not a lot to get bonus shipping on it, but it did cost a little bit of money. But to me, it's worth it because it means we'll get that kit faster. But I do have a few things. I have some stuff that I purchased for myself that's coming in, and I got a gift. And then also I recently got a premium Bandai kit in the mail, the Red Rider. So I'll put all 4 of those things up for voting by my $10 patrons about what I should build next. Will be the last voting of December for them. And we'll see what they want me to do. I still have way more of these too. Panel line, and then erase, clean up. We talked about anime that I'm excited about. There's a bunch of stuff next season. I have to start going through and seeing like what got picked up and where. There's a couple things that didn't get announced where they're going, and so hopefully they will be announced because they're like 2 weeks into January. So I'm hoping to start seeing that because that would be nice. Right now, there's nothing on. There's one show. The Tokyo Revengers is the only show so far that I am bummed I do not have an easy way to watch, because that is on Disney Plus, which I do not have. So I'm slightly miffed that I will not be able to see Tokyo Revengers right away. I will have to get a login for that at some point and just probably wait for the season to be done and marathon through it. Am I actually the strongest coming out next season? Dirty, I do not believe that is coming out next season. I believe that is 2023, but I do not believe that is. Let me see here. No, it is just set to it right now. It just says 2023 a release date. Because that got announced like this year that it was coming out next year. But it is not part of the winter season. So that is spring or summer or fall. There are, Any chance you were parents on Verizon Wireless? I believe they still give credit for that. I don't know. I mean, I'm on Verizon Wireless. I'll have to look that up. I don't know what that deal is. I definitely from Verizon got like Apple Plus for like a month or something. But I'll take Mr. Bob. I will take a look to see if there is some sort of deal for Disney Plus on that. Eventually, it looks like my folks are going to be getting Hulu Live TV as their cable alternative, and that package comes with Disney Plus. So then I'll just have their login for that. But right now, no. Dirty. There's a lot of isekai out this winter season, but Am I the Strongest is not one of them. But there's so many shows, Dirty, that of the action and also of the slice of life variety for isekais. So, you'll still be eating well on that. Plus, Iruma-kun, second half of the core 2 of Iruma-kun and core 2 of Eminence and Shadow are there as well. As I said, and then lots of new shit. And then a sequel, the fucking Fruit of Evolution show that I really like. Oh, really? They got a second season on that one? Ugh. Don't think that's a good show, but that's getting a second season. All right. When we come back, we'll panel line this real quick, and then we'll take a pause for the cause. We'll talk about what I'm ways you can support the channel and all that. We'll go through it real quick. Then we'll get back to this. We'll talk about some manga. But yeah, Mr. Problem, I'm going to investigate if I can get Disney Plus, because that'd be pretty good. Harold says, I have Hulu with live TV. It's fine. Not the best DVR, but with Disney ESPN bundle, it's still a good deal. Yes. My folks have been discussing cutting the cable, cutting the cord, and Hulu Live TV seems to be the best thing because it does involve some of the home and garden stuff that my mom wants and sports, which my dad definitely wants. So that's probably what we're going to go with. Yeah, the DVR is something that they want, but like it's not super a priority. And then I think our device of choice is probably going to be a Roku. So they have the Roku channels as well. The free Roku stuff probably as there. And also Roku comes with a remote that is similar to a real remote that you can use and not something on your phone. Because people are like, oh, just get him a Chromecast. It's like, that Chromecast remote sucks. And I don't want my mom to have to use her cell phone as an alternative. Like, that's just not happening. So, all right. Put these all on here. And then we'll build the connectors and connect all this together in a moment. All right, so we got this far done here, and then we got to do the connectors to pop them together so that we can get these are the hands and the arms somehow. So we got to get that together. But first, I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel. Everything I'm talking here right now is optional. None of the things I'm about to talk to you about are things you have to do. If you would like to do them, if you would like to support what I do here, and let me continue to buy model kits and build model kits and Lego sets and play some games on Tuesday or whatever, these are some ways to do that. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, and the Tier 2 Blue emote. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money, just $5 a month, or $10 if you want to be a Tier 2 supporter and get a cool exclusive emote that only right now myself and Aristofan have. But yeah, being a subscriber is the easiest way to support me. Cash money or using a Prime Gaming token. We have gifted subs this month, which is lovely. You can always gift a sub to somebody in the community if you wanted to do that. It's obviously optional. I'm not going to blow my nose, but I'm going to clear my nose real quick. I have a little bit of a cold. Thankfully, not affecting my voice, but affecting my nose. Okay, so also bits and coins always appreciated. Harold and Lord Crashton, thank you for the bits this month. That's very kind of you. Now, this isn't the only way to support what I do here, because there's also my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. Yesterday, I put up December's Q&A. I do a Q&A every month that is exclusive for my patrons. So if you want to watch that video or previous ones, you could just sign up at the $1 tier, and you would get that. And then the 3 gets you more things, the 5 gets you more things, and the 10 gets you more things. You get more things the more you spend money on. That is just an alternative if Twitch is not the way you would like to financially support me on a monthly basis. Now, you probably know that I, like everybody, has a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBaer. We'll get through this pretty fast, folks, and then we'll get back to building and talking about some manga. But I gotta do my ad reads because I don't have sponsors. YouTube.com/PatBaer. There is a membership there. For $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. Now, my current video project, which just is wrapping up, the most recent episode that went up yesterday is the last one of this project from Do You Remembaer. Folks got that on Tuesday. They got the last one a day early. Next Tuesday, for $2 a month, you get the very first of Barely Rehearsed, which is my new series where I try to actually memorize, but I'll probably not be off book for all of it, doing some character monologues and some funny content, trying to do some stuff there, some written, some barely rehearsed. I promise to try on those. It's just me making weekly comedy videos because I'm excited about making weekly comedy videos. But yeah, you get those a little early with YouTube. Now, if monthly is not the way that you want to support me financially, and you want to do it like once in a while, well, I've got tip jars of various means. I have Ko-Fi, I have PayPal, and I have Stream Elements. And anything I make, direct donations, one-time donations, or through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so please watch my YouTube videos. That helps me out there. Or Patreon or Twitch, all of that goes into a fund, and I take money out of that fund and buy model kits. The Juaggu that I'm building right now, this Juaggu would not be in my my hands right here if not for your generosity, because I took it out of the funds that I get from lovely folks like yourselves, which is very kind of you. It allows me to buy model kits like that. Now, that's not the only way I get model kits. This came in my backlog. I've got a bunch of stuff in my backlog that I'm really looking forward to building. But you could jump that backlog if you bought something off my Amazon wish list, because it would jump the queue, because you would buy it with your own money, and the least I could do is build it sooner than later. I've got a bunch of stuff on that wish list. I've got some Lego sets. I've got some model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, stuff that never seems to go on sale, stuff that has free shipping, all kinds of different things. Take a look at that list, see if there's something there that like strikes your fancy and you'd be like, I'd like to see Pat build that. I'm going to spend money on it. You could do that. And there's some expensive kits there because there's always like, hey, the Eagle unit for Heavy Arms 1. Providence, the Providence Master Grade from Gundam Seed, that almost won. That was like 30% of the vote or 35% of the vote. It got close. If you wanted to spend $105 and have me build that kit, you definitely could. There's also some gear. I've got some various gear here that would be great for me to just like a better capture card, external capture card for my overhead camera. Be nice to have that. A mat. It says sewing mat, but it's the same thing. A mat to do anything where I would be using the X-Acto knife. It'd be nice to build on that instead of just right on the table. Just a little in between there. And then a goofy thing like the on-air sign that would be silly. Or like, hey, you want to buy me a better chair than the chair I sit in? You definitely do that. All these things are optional. You don't have to do any of that, obviously. The alternative to that is my Throne wish list, which has some model kits, but mostly gear and some, like, you just buy me a gift card and I'll use that gift card to buy stuff. Or USA Gundam Store, you go to USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store, then send me a DM. If you bought something, if you bought me a gift card to USA Gundam Store, I would buy Witch from Mercury figures, model kits, I should say. They put in some model kits from stock. I have Ghoul's model kit. And then I have the pre-order of the Luth, which I don't know when that's coming out. But they have other stuff. And, like, maybe I want to get a Hair Puffs mobile suit. I don't know. It's something that could happen. And if you wanted to facilitate that, you could do that. All those things are optional. If you want to help me out without spending any money, join my Discord. My Discord is great. It's full of lovely people, and it's very chill. So you can check that out. Video links. I will have a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club up on Monday that we recorded on Tuesday. the previous Pat Bear's Anime Club. You could just check out if you wanted to and know the Pat Bear Anime Awards. I did my own anime awards. You could check that out if you're so inclined. Do You Remembaer is my ongoing video series. I mentioned it before. Do You Remembaer was a video series where every week I hastily researched something on Wikipedia and then filmed myself talking about what I could remember about that Wikipedia page. For the very last one, I, of course, talked about the Wikipedia page for Wikipedia. You knew I was going to do that. There were two things you could have guessed. One, that I was going to do the song September by Earth, Wind, and Fire, which has the line, Do You Remember, in the month of September. You knew that might be coming. It did. The other thing y'all knew I was going to do was to do the Wikipedia page for Wikipedia. It was suggested to me by multiple people, and I was like, yeah, I know, I'm going to do it. You don't have to worry about that. Of course, I'm going to talk about Wikipedia on the last Do You Remember. The only other idea I had was, what if I tried to remember every other 51 subjects? And I was like, no, that's just a mental exercise. I'd be trying to remember the list of it. That's not the same. So yeah, check that out. It's the last Do You Remember. I now can delete the folder with a bunch of Wikipedia links that I had. I no longer need bookmarked Wikipedia pages because next week we'll have a new series. Barely Rehearsed requires me to just write things in Google Docs or find old sketches or character monologues. It will not require me to do any sort of research on Wikipedia. So it's already exciting. Anyway, we got to talk about some manga and a manhwa, and I have to drink some water, and then we got to get back to the model kit building. So we're going to do that. Before I do that, I do need to drink some water, and we have to dramatically transition to the overhead. So let's do that right the fuck now. All right. Let's build shoulders. Let's build some shoulders, and let's talk about some manhwa and manga. We'll start with the manhwa. Survival story of a sword king in a fantasy world. So, if you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, basically, there's no new anime for me to talk about until next Thursday. So for the next few streams, I might talk about a couple shows that I wasn't talking about weekly, but I don't have any weekly anime to talk about. We're in a lull here. So to have something to talk about in the second hour, I'm going to talk about some manga that I have read, either that I'm currently reading or that I was reading some. And I read most of the first collection of Survival Story of a Sword King in a Fantasy World, which is a South Korean comic. It is a manhwa. It is weird. It is an isekai. It is someone put into a world with a game-like system, where not everything is what it seems, which makes sense. And it is way goofier than I had any belief that it could be. And it's a weird... they made a weird choice with this one. So it's... the humor comes from the absurdity of it, but basically hey, we got our dude. He served his military service, his required military service, right? Got discharged from the army. Right now is just kind of just living his life. Doesn't really, a little directionless. Wait, where's D? There's D. Because I finished C? Yeah, okay. Got it. Kind of directionless, doesn't really know where he's going, what to do next. And then he's sucked into a world, and he's given thousands of people are given this, right? Is it some kind of experiment? Basically, the premise is a bunch of humans are given powers and the opportunity to grow in strength, and then they're dumped on a world with a directive: kill the goddess. An evil god has set up the idea, they can't kill the goddess, so what if they have these other worlders do that? Here's the thing, right? even if they weren't trying to kill the goddess, the people on that world know that these very strong folks just get unbelievably strong really fast and cause all sorts of commotion and nightmares and terribleness. So if you're an otherworlder, you get fucking hunted down constantly by the people of that world. And in most cases, understandably, right? But some people go on a blaze of glory. Some people are strong enough to survive it. And some people immediately realize as soon as they get there, actually, this is not good. And I am just going to blend in. I'm just going to do a regular job. Our main guy can't really, he's trying to do that shit. And that's where a lot of the humor comes from, is like him trying to keep his secrets so that he doesn't get betrayed or so that he doesn't run into any issues. And also, a lot of times people go farther than they need to where they're like, hey, you were harboring an otherworlder, so you're also fucking dead. Which is obviously a lot more than just personal responsibility. But our guy has had an issue since the beginning. Our dude, Ryu Hanbin. Because Ryu's guideline didn't work. It just didn't work. He got a faulty one. Because when he hit level 5, he was supposed to move on to the next phase. Just supposed to move on, right? Until, and then from 5 to 20, he would work with other people. And then at 20, then you go into the world. So you're already super strong, right? When he went to tick over from 4 to 5, he reset to level 1. So he constantly had to fight monsters, and he lived like that for over 10 years, where he was supposed to just take his time, level up, and go. Instead, he had to constantly keep fighting. Constantly keep fighting, because while his level reset, and he could only learn skills as he leveled up, so he would always reset at 1 with no skills. His stats didn't change. His stats would accumulate. So even if he was level 1, he was level 1 plus 50 or plus 100 strength or whatever. And you're like, oh, cool. Well, then he just like kills some monsters and levels up, and then no problem, he'll figure it out. Well, no, because in this training area, the monsters were as tough as you were. So even if he was getting experience going to level 2, the monsters he was fighting were still really strong. Now, what that means is it's hard for him to level up when he gets to where he needs to go. But also, he's strong enough where, like, nobody can fuck with him, really. So most of his problems are the people around me in trouble? There is, hey, guess what? There's an acquisition. An acquisition, an inquisition. There's an inquisition. Because of course there is. So, like, this could cause trouble for the people who have been nice to him and helped him out. Because, like, are they going to be okay? Oops, I put this on backwards. Are they going to be okay? Because, like, they didn't know I was an otherworlder, but that doesn't mean anything to these motherfuckers. So, like, I got to disappear. And then there's, like, at least one person that's like, his first companion is just like, hey, we all have our secrets, all right? And he's not an otherworlder. He's a fucking dragon. He's like, yeah, we all got our problems. It's like, oh, no wonder why you didn't really make a lot of sense. You're a fucking dragon. And then there are also otherworlders that are looking to destroy the world, because of course they are, that want to go ahead with this plan for various means. It's a whole lot of shit. It's a whole lot of stuff. So it's a lot. Basically, it's just like, hey, actually, you know what my mission is? I'm going to kill that evil god. And then things go off the rails there, and it's, again, even though he's been through all this trauma and, like, continuously deals with all these traumatic events, it's a comedy. The manga is a comedy, and the reason why I stopped reading it is honestly that, like, it's just jarring. Like, its comedic moves are just, like, out of left field and weird, and, like, it's not a badass revenge story, but it also isn't a good comedy. It's not a good like hijinks in another world thing because the stakes are continuously very high. It's just weird. It's a weird manhwa. There's also a lot of it. I think there's like, I haven't read all of them, obviously, but I think there's like 200 chapters or something. So if you did give this a try and you did like it, you got a lot to read. You can really get fucking into it. Good luck to you. Um, so that's one that I want to tell you about. Don't worry, I got more. I got another manga for you to check out that is definitely lighter. The world's strongest butler. That's right. We got ourselves an overpowered main character. He has not been reincarnated that I know of. He has not been isekai that I know of. He is just an abnormally tough, strong guy who was a butler. He is still kind of a butler. Basically, he was like very skilled and strong and brought in to be the personal butler of a real brat. Like just like a real demanding girl. A girl that got like, she had a lot of demands to deal with the fact that she was new to nobility and kind of ashamed of it and ashamed of not quite knowing what was needed to be done and people making fun of her and just like dumped all her baggage on Art, her butler, who never failed her. But she wanted him to fail so that she could insult him and feel better about herself. So she just started adding more and more ridiculous tasks so that he would then fail. But he wouldn't fail until eventually he did pass out from exhaustion, to which she was like, well, you're fired. Which, so that he would grovel, I guess, and beg to come back, and she would have even more power over him. But he doesn't. He's just like, okay, you fired me. All right, I'm going to leave then. I'm free. I'm going to go do something else. And while he still does butlery things, also he's incredibly strong and a genius at things and knows household things and like all of the things. Like he makes a bed that this guy who's misses the beds at the royal capital suddenly finds a bed. He finds all these ways to just like be really helpful, and then he also finds that people appreciate him. Like he joins the adventure to do some tasks, and they're just like, oh wow, you're really competent and great at this. And he's like, nah, anybody could do this stuff. The usual, like, oh, I'm overpowered, but I don't recognize it, and I have humility. But they're like, no, this is exceptional. Be proud of yourself. Then we also have the Ice Princess. People don't know how to approach her. Urk. And Urk is just like, hey, in a lovely, actually very touching scene in this, going just to please people, it looks like he's going to, Art is going to return to the house that treated him so poorly. And she goes, Art, I have a request for you. Don't lie to me. And it's like a lovely little scene of him just being like, yeah, actually, this house stole some stuff, and yeah, they did treat me like crap. There's like a big event coming. There's a big monstrous event that Urk is going to handle because not Urk. Art is going to handle. It's nice. It is an overpowered main character. It is fairly light. There, like I said, there are some touching moments that I appreciate. I think you would enjoy it if you like your overpowered main characters. And like our girl hasn't had as much comeuppance as I would particularly enjoy. Our nobility girl, but I think more's coming. So I would assume there will be more issues for her to deal with there. Also there's like the princess of another country, the princess of that country is interested in him because Art is like skillful and great at stuff. a lot of basically he left the country to go to another one, and that country's just like, hell yeah, stick around, dude, you are great. So things are going well for our friend, and we hope just better stuff comes for him for art. So in conclusion, the world's strongest butler is a pretty good one of those. If you are interested in one of those, some eagle-eared listeners may remember me talking about this manga a while ago. And you say, Pat, why are you talking about the diary of a sage around 40 living in another world? You've definitely talked about that. And in fact, I have talked about the manga adaptation of the light novel, The Diary of a Sage Around 40 Living in Another World. The first manga adaptation, that's right, there was a manga adaptation that ran digitally, and then the light novel got adapted for a second manga adaptation put out by Square Enix digitally, and also collected probably in physical form. This is the second manga adaptation of the light novel. And I am doing this I'll explain what it is, but also talk about why this is different from the other one and how it's different. It's an isekai. It is a guy beat a video game, defeated a god, and then got cursed by that video game god who actually was a real god. Or at least part of a real god. Anyway, dude got fucking cursed. And now he is in a fantasy world based loosely on the video game that he was in. But it is also... he's got all the abilities of it, and he's in the body of his character, right? So he's an old man. He's a middle-aged man that is in his 40s. He's my age, but everyone calls him old man because it's an adventuring world, so they're all young. But yeah, everybody calls him old man, which does not make me feel good, particularly. And it's a lovely little story about a guy who is he's like obviously clearly the strongest mage in the country that he has found himself in, right? He is clearly like he gets to basically like say like, hey, the reason you don't know about me is that I isolated myself in the woods because I was just furthering my art, and that's the reason why nobody would know me. But he basically gets immediately hired. He immediately saves some people, and they get hired as a tutor for someone who is like the grandfather of this girl is just like, hey, she loves magic, but she can't do, she's behind, and when she goes back to school, she has a really tough time at magic school. So do you think you could help her out? And he's like, sure, and gets immediate results. Then her brother, who is he's a little shit. He ends up becoming trained as well. And it turns out by describing magic like you would like his explanations of magic and magic theory are really easy to understand because he's been isekai. He has a different point of view. But the other thing about this adaptation of The Diary of a Sage Around 40 Living in Another World from the previous one is it is almost like an anime adaptation in that it cuts to the quick. This dude is, in the amount of chapters that this manga adaptation has from the previous, it's just condensed, right? Like, he becomes a tutor, I think, in the beginning of the second chapter. And by the end of where I'm at in this manga, he is already tutoring the brother, who in the first manga adaptation was not there, was not present. That character had not been introduced yet. So it's moving a lot quicker, which I don't mind. I think that's fine. I do feel weird about reading manga where the main character is an old man and he is in his 30s or 40s. I understand that these books are often... It's not that they're marketed exclusively to young people, but there is an assumption that it's just young people who are like, it's just young people who are like the target audience. So, olds like me, can enjoy it and will enjoy it, but I'm not a young man, so they think that they can have old timers just in there, and it's not a big deal. So it does feel a little bad, but not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. I just, in my mind, I just remind myself, well, it's a fantasy world, and the life expectancy is low in a fantasy world. They put all the jokes at the tone old people can't hear. Yes, indeed. Yeah, there's like the Backwater Sword Master is another one where they're like, what's this old man doing here? Oh, is the old man going to teach it? And he's like in his 30s. It's like, all right, okay, great. Calm the fuck down, everybody. Anyway, that's the manga, and there'll be more manga on Saturday and Monday. I mean, Manga Monday always continues. I will now give you the manga preview of other things that I'll be talking about in the next couple days, because that is the thing I can do, because I just got to go find my Google Doc of everything I need to talk about. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got Trading Company Man Survival in a Different World. That's an isekai, of course. We got a manhwa, Archmage Transcending Through Regression. That is a time travel story, like a regression story of like rewinding time, but with your memories intact to fix the issues, to fix what happened. That's pretty good. Strongest Beastmaster in the World. That's just a action manga. That's a harem manga. Let's see. The number one, the Dropout 1-star witch unconsciously uses cheats today as well. Yeah, that's I think that's an isekai. I can't even. That one I'm gonna have to look up. I don't remember. That's fun. But yeah, I got some other ones to talk about here. Oh, my noble family is headed for ruin, so I may as well study magic in my free time. Obviously, originally a light novel. Yeah, I got a bunch of these. Got a bunch of these damn things to say, Former hero said, "In the world beats the real world full of monsters." Oh yeah. We almost have enough for that. I'm going to move that up. The Savior Messiah. Almost have enough chapter. I usually like to give manga like 8 to 9 chapters just to see like where it's going and if like seems like there's something for me to talk about there. And with manhwa, I try to give it like 20 chapters because manhwa is shorter, or and it's weekly, so it takes a while to like get going. Because like I talked about like the genius of lineage or something, that whatever, that manhwa now is just like office culture of this guy working at like a for-profit monster fighting corporation, whereas like the beginning was him like in school, and I thought it was going to be like taking place at a school, but no, it's transitioning and moving up into him having a job. And I was like, oh, I guess I could have waited a little while longer on that, but I did it, so we got as far as we did on that. Speaking of isekai manga, says Lashbrook, I've heard about backstabbed in a backwater dungeon. My trusted companions try to kill me, but thanks to the gift of an unlimited gacha, I got level 99999 friends and out for revenge on my former party members and the world. So I've talked about that on stream a while back, and I just called it unlimited gacha because that's what they should just fucking call it. They should just call it unlimited gacha. That is what, when I talked about it, that was just being done by a fan subber. Now it is being serialized and in English and released in English, and that is the title they went with. That is that's just a fucking revenge book. That is just straight up revenge. That is the banished, and by banished I mean attempted murder. They were looking for a special human. And when they realized the guy they had wasn't the special human, they were allowed to dispose of him. So they just left him for dead in this like incredibly rough dungeon. But he was able to unlock his ability while his life was on the line, which is him being able to summon unbelievably strong people and gear. And now he is slowly murdering all the people that fucked with him. And by slowly, I mean he is not halfway done with murdering people. And I'm going to look up what chapter we're on right now. Let me look that up. What chapter I have read to, I should say. My gift level 9999 unlimited gotcha. That's right. My gift level 9999 unlimited gotcha is what I have. Chapter 67, and he is maybe about to kill, I believe, the fourth person that he needs to kill. There was a whole thing where they had to kill some other people that were fucking with humanity and humans. He did also recently run into the person that most likely was the person that killed his family. So that was nice. That was good. It is a power fantasy manga with some honestly fun characters in it. There's some fun characters in that. We got a panel line this and then panel line the other one here. Oh, we have finished with D. We're getting there, friends. We're moving right along on this kit. We will finish this kit up on Saturday. So I will definitely need to have a poll about what I do after this kit. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. Because we'll talk about New Year's stuff and next year's stuff on Saturday, which is the New Year's stream. So I would like to hear from you. What are you playing right now? What are you watching? You got any gaming going in? I've been playing Lego Builder's Journey. That's been a very fun game. Playing Hearthstone and Marvel Snap as always. I have nothing really to report about Marvel Snap or Hearthstone except that I continue to play them constantly. I have been enjoying Nextlander's Game of the Year coverage. Once I finish this week's, I will be listening to more of some other stuff from Giant Bomb, which was good. And then, of course, kind of digging in a bit into some stuff from Waypoint. But I've been enjoying Nextlander's coverage. I really like here are the categories that are just us, like Alex talking about certain things, like whatever, and the best music is just Alex's category. And Vinny's is Vinny's adventure games and Brad's hard games. And I think that is a fun approach. While they did come up with a group, a site top 10, I really like the approach of just hey, we don't have to agree on what's the best, most insidious game or whatever. We can just each have ours, I think that's a fun way to go with it. Did you ever roll a high verity version of us party members and have awkward talk as they get kicked out of the party? No, he just saves them. He summoned all of these mythical people and then he just gets to keep them around and pick who he wants to use. That's the short answer to that. Lysandrus is playing Elden Ring while listening to the stream. That's fun. Enjoy Elden Ring. Hell yeah. Get your streaming on, watching while gaming. I like that. That's fun. Still on Elden Ring, says Ghost Valve, and finishing up the Quattro Rick Diaz, about to start the Red Rider. Hell yeah. I got that Red Rider. I don't know when I'm going to start it, but I got that Red Rider. And I'm excited to build it because I built the white and black riders, and I liked both of them. Although the white rider, I think, had too many stickers, in my opinion. Harold has been playing a lot of Pokemon Violet. May finish game on stream tomorrow. Hell yeah. Well, good luck with that, Harold. H-Bomb and friends in there. Maybe going to do a stream with some Pokemon. Hell yeah. I finished all of One Piece episodes on Netflix, says Lord Crashton, which ends with the launch of The Thousand Sunny. Now I'll have to switch to the Japanese dub to continue. Yeah, you're gonna have to move on to going with subtitles. Gotta get caught up. You got plenty more to watch. That was a question. Dirty says, I met Vandam in Xenoblade today for the first time. Found another Grace in Elden Ring, and I started Spider-Man. Hell yeah. Tomorrow I plan on undercoating some Space Marines. Nice. Regizzle is rewatching Beaufry and anticipates pushing a new season. Aside from that, don't know what anime to watch. And Lashbrook is recommending Bocchi the Rock. So, what were my favorite shows of this season? Do It Yourself was a feel-good, lovely series. Bocchi is very good. So I would recommend that. Do It Yourself, I think, was fantastic. Spy Family was great. You had two core of Spy Family that I think was really, really solid. Witch from Mercury is great. I'm excited for the finale of that. There was some solid stuff this season. If you have Hulu, I'm hearing very good things about this Bleach new season. I have not watched that, but I am hearing good things. Chainsaw Man is probably a lot of people's anime of the year. If not the anime of the year, it's their anime of this season. I liked it. I didn't like it as much as some other people did. Certainly, because I'm not necessarily for the violence and sadness that is inherent in that particular series. Lord Crashin' ordered a Steam Deck and got 69 Steam trading cards to sort through and sell on Steam Marketplace. Hell yeah. Yeah, I just sold some. I just actually literally just got some money for some things on the marketplace. Regizzle says, I'm going to miss G-Witch, partially because I've been watching all the Gundam in order since the start of the pandemic, and now I have to watch Seed Destiny. Yeah, look, there's some great mobile suits in Seed Destiny. There's some good mobile suits in Seed Destiny. That's all I got. That's all I got for you. Harold says, I've also been watching the Marble Runs after getting introduced via Desert Bus. Yes, Marble Runs are fun to watch. I got turned on to those by my buddy Charlie Chu. That's a series that he watched with his kids and recommended to me as something he thought I would definitely be into. And he was fucking right. No problem. Which is, I almost bought a Steam Deck this Christmas, but I ended up replacing my couch. Dirty in the long run. Like, look, if you got a Steam Deck, then what are you gonna do? Sit on that couch you wanted to replace with the Steam Deck, being mad you didn't get the new couch? I think you made the right call. I mean, maybe you didn't, but I think you did. Lastbrook was a big fan of Seed. Never watched Seed Destiny. I think Seed is interesting. I think at the time people were bummed with it, but I like its attempt to kind of modernize the original series in a way and try to redo that story, but at the time, feel with modern interpretation of it. I think that's an interesting call. I think the animation was pretty good for the time, but yeah, Destiny is fine. It's just fine. It kind of doesn't need to be there. It doesn't feel like fan fiction, but it does feel like the manga that continues the story that people are like, you don't have to read the manga. You can just enjoy the anime. You don't have to go back and read this extra manga stuff that came out. That's right. That's when he did 404ing it. I vaguely remembered it being in one of the 404 panels, but I forgot when and who. Yes, Charlie brought the Marble Runs to our attention, which was really fun. And also, I got called out, respectfully called out, and rightfully called out, because YouTube has a thing where if someone uses something you did on YouTube, you can find out about it. And so then I got contacted just being like, hey, you should link to my original video, which I should have been doing all that time. When I put up the YouTube archives of the panels, I should have been including links to the source material, which I started doing at that point and then retroactively did for many of my videos, some of which I could not find again. Lysandra says, I liked Bleach. I should watch more Bleach. Yeah, hell yeah. If you like Bleach, watch more Bleach. I'm bleached out. In that I have no real desire to watch this new series because when the anime ended, I was kind of sick of Bleach, and then I read the manga to continue the story, and then I became kind of sick of Bleach. So I'm not like jumping to like look. I could get a Hulu login to watch this version of Bleach. I could. There's nothing really stopping me from getting like either just getting fucking Hulu for a little while or borrowing. I could do that. I just haven't had a desire to do it. But I want to at some point. I don't know. I loved Wing and liked Seed as a kid. One of my recent rewatches, I think Seed is one of the weaker Gundams, so watching the mostly panned sequel doesn't sound fun, but I'm kind of pot committed at this point. Yeah, I mean, if you're watching all of them again, I mean, like, God, the 90s, 2000s Gundam stuff, like, is really hit or miss. I mean, I have respect for the swings that G takes. I love Wing. I respect the art design of X, even if I think X is a mess. And then like later, it's just like, I don't know. I like Seed. I thought Destiny was, there's like a bunch of stuff in that era that is like good, but doesn't really like do it for me. Speaking of doing it for me, this kit, man. In Canada, we only got Wing and Seed, so most of this is brand new to me. Much more positive on X than you, though. Yeah, I mean, like, look, in hindsight, X is doing some cool stuff, but it came out right after Wing and was not Wing and was in some ways a throwback, and people just were not into it. Anyway, I was into tonight's stream, and I hope you were too. I hope you had a good time. We're going to wrap things up here. My next stream will be on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's my New Year's Eve stream, so I hope people will come and hang out with me for that. The first 2 hours will be model kit building, as is tradition, as is our way. And the third hour, taking us from 11 p.m. Eastern Time to midnight, January 1st, Eastern Time, will be Jackbox games. So we're going to do a little of column A, a little column B, and I hope you will check that out with me because it's going to be fun. But tonight, we are going to end with a raid. We always end with a raid. We got to find somebody who's doing some cool stuff with a fun community, and we're going to go hang out with them. We'll see who is still streaming right now. Let's see. We got to raid my buddy Xandra. Xandra made all our emotes. Xandra Bot, which is... Xandra Bot is a VTuber. It is not Xandra. It is Xandra's daughter, Xanderbot. Xanderbot is playing Signalis, so we are going to raid Xandra and hang out with Xanderbot as Xanderbot plays a game. You get it. It's Xander. It's Xandra. It's my friend. It's my friend Alex Xandra. So we're going to go hang out with Xandra. You get it, but it's just her bot right now. Her VTuber. Have a good night, everybody. Feel free to come along on this raid. If you don't want to come along on this raid, you don't have to, but you could come and hang out with me on Saturday. We'll ring in the new year together by finishing this model kit, starting a new model kit, and then playing Jackbox Party Pack. I hope everyone has a great night. Thank you so much for spending some of your Thursday with me. I will see you in the next stream. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye.